A European road trip. Dang, this is a long drive.
Vielen Dank und auf Wiedersehen.
You're not supposed to film in there. Good news! We are discovering Europe's best kept secrets. You and I are heading off on the ultimate European road trip to discover those hidden gem countries. We're gonna hit up. Never mind, I'll reveal to you these destinations as we get going. This trip promises to be full of surprises, and I hope to answer some questions along the way. The questions: how to book a hotel on the go, how much does it cost to rent a car, the cost of gas or fuel, is it safe to travel alone, and finally, why? Why am I doing this? Why not just stay at home in Florence and sip a spritz in the piazza? Let's hit the road and discover the mysteries that await us.
In 600 meters, take the slip road.
Now with this trusty Peugeot, we are leaving right away Vienna and the country of Austria behind. This is it. You and I, we've arrived. We are now officially in the Czech Republic. This is country number 56. The Czech Republic! Country number 56, country number 56, Czech Republic. And this is a Czech roadside stop, Czech coffee, Czech pulled pork tortilla wrap thing. Down the road is the country's second largest city, Brno. It has a secret that not too many tourists know about, this underground labyrinth dating back to the Middle Ages. And not only that, there's a secret entrance that supposedly is hard to find. You and I are gonna try to find it, and I'm not sure we can do it, but let's go. Before we get going, I want to explain how you book a hotel when on the go in Europe. There are several different approaches. One is just a straight up Google search, and then it'll list the hotel option, and you put in a date and it'll list you different booking apps where you can book the hotel. An option I use a lot is I go to my Capital One credit card travel app, and I can book hotels through there and get something like 5 or 10 times points. However, when I'm on the go, I use the good old booking.com app. It sometimes doesn't have the best prices, but it's convenient, and you get mobile discounts if you're not going from your laptop. And in this case, because I'm here outside of a rest stop, I'm on the go and I'm using my mobile phone. I've been sitting here for about 10 minutes going through the different options on my phone. I find the best way is to pull up the map option within Booking and to look the area you want to stay in, and then start clicking around on the hotel availability. I found one cool place ranked 9.3, has its own bathroom, a little bit more than I want to pay. It's called Cozy Blue Flat. Drop some comments down below. Have you ever heard of the car maker Skoda? Because about every other car here on the road is a Skoda. It's the national car of the Czech Republic. Okay, we are here in Brno. Let's see if we can find this underground labyrinth over this way. A secret labyrinth?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but we're not from Brno.
Oh, okay.
We've never been
I'll
there.
ask around. I think it closes at 6, so I'm gonna drop my bags in.
Okay.
Let's do it. Super sweet mom and daughter. They had no idea about the labyrinth, which makes it all the more mysterious. Okay, we don't have much time to find this labyrinth because it's getting near sunset and it could be closing if we don't get there in time. No more tours today.
Exactly.
So no places tonight. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. can I do it? It's closed, we can't get in. The good news is that it's open tomorrow. We reserved a spot and we're gonna be in there at 9:30. Apparently it's 212 steps down underneath this square here, which is the vegetable market. And you can see over there, they're picking up the market right now. It's time to go see this labyrinth. back up top. We covered some distance down below. In that labyrinth, we finally uncovered it. We were 6 to 10 meters below the ground. It was ingenious back in the day. In the 14th century, this city was the most important city in Bohemia. In that time, they started to create these labyrinths, these underground caverns, and they expanded on them in the 16th and 18th century. The whole tour, well, it was in Czech, and actually that was okay. I was following a school group down through there. I also learned that you're not supposed to film in there, but I needed to give you some footage. In addition to that, we learned that there they stored beer, they stored wine, and it was an ingenious way of doing things because you have cooler temperatures down there and you can feel it, and that's how they created this big beer industry. When I was out running this morning, I saw one of the breweries out there. I could smell the grains. When I was a kid, I used to brew beer. I don't know if any of you have ever tried it, and I drank a lot of beer, but there's a darker side to it. Well, before I explain that, I want to let you know, after we leave here today, we're gonna head east to Poland, over the border, and explore there. The Middle Ages, it was a dark period and there was some dark stuff going on. Down there we saw the museum where they housed the torture devices that they used in that time period. Among those, we saw the 3 degrees of torture they would use on suspected witches to bring about their confessions, the thumb screws, the rack, and the Spanish boot. I can only imagine what the Spanish boot would have been. Do you have any idea? We also saw this iron cage, and I asked what that was, and she explained to us that they kept it out here in the square. All these devices were in the square here. They weren't down there. They're just down there now for a museum so you can walk through and see them. They kept it over there in the square. There, they would lock inside people with physical or mental disabilities, and they would keep them caged in there so the townspeople could look at them in disgust. Just some nasty stuff to think back to those times. Naskla! Naskla. There, she just taught me how to say goodbye in Czech. Hopefully I'm getting the pronunciation right. Naskla. Language class and coffee. Let's not think about that torture. As I said, we're on our way over the border to Poland, a new country for us, and we are going to one of its oldest and most culturally significant cities, Krakow. But that's not what we need to be concerned about. What we want to be concerned about is this hidden garden that not too many people make it to. We're gonna try to find it. So, how much am I paying for this car? I'm just looking at the rental contract now on my phone, and I noticed I'm not supposed to take it out of Austria. Never mind that. The price is 199.57 euro. That works out to around 50 euro a day. And no, I didn't get the insurance option. If you've watched some of my other videos, which I hope you're doing, I have my own car hire insurance that I get every year. The rental insurance provides insurance on car rentals throughout the entire year. So that way I don't have to worry about all the insurance business when I go in and rent a car. It saves me money and it's a lot faster at checkout. And that's how much it's gonna cost you, 50 euro a day to rent a car. I could see already the lettering on the signs are different, and past a little blue sign on the road with the stars around it and some initials PL. Yeah, we're in Poland. This is a new country for us. This is country number 57. We're in Poland. Poland! Poland! Let's go find the secret garden. So I'm gonna drop off my bags at the Airbnb, and then, yeah, we're gonna find the secret garden. The purpose of booking in the center, perhaps paying a little bit more than what you'd be accustomed to, that's so we have easy access to the main square and all the sites around, including, yes, the secret garden. Let's get going. Well, the thing is, anywhere you go in Krakow, you find gardens. You're surrounded by gardens. This is what I think its best kept secret, the gardens. Planty Garden, that's the garden that encircles the entire city. It's made up of 8 separate gardens, and it replaced the old moat and wall that used to surround the city, I think around the 19th century. In addition to Planty Garden, there's a botanical garden outside the city center that's associated with the university. Then of course there's all the beer and cafe gardens that you can explore. But I think this garden here is worth a walk around, and that's what we're gonna do. Walking around, you're gonna see a lot of monuments and statues, and at the southern end of the park, you'll see Wawel Castle. And this is the royal castle and cathedral. If you're enjoying all this travel adventure stuff, hit the like and subscribe button down below. It means a lot to me in this channel as I try to help it grow and get the content out to other travel-minded people like yourself. If you do this trip and you come to Poland, this corner of the world, here to Kraków, give yourself an extra day or two, especially to make the trip, which is just nearby, to Auschwitz to see the camp and learn about the history. Also, you can go to Schindler's factory right over this way too. There's so much history in this part of the world, and you just gotta get out here and explore and give yourself time, not like I'm doing. I would say the most lively portion of Planty Park is the western side of the park, because you're gonna find cafes, bars all lined up along this side, and a lot more traffic here as well. People going along on bikes, skateboards, runners, just a hive of activity. And I always say, when you go to new towns, parks are a great way to relax, but also to get a taste of the local life as people go about their business, walking their dogs, exercising. So it's mid-June and it's been cold all day. It must be a cold front coming through here in Poland, but to have the dramatic skies at the end of the day, a pretty good ending to the day here in Kraków. We are getting out of Poland, down the road that way, 2 new countries. I'll reveal those countries to you when we get to the first of the 2 countries. And I have a bit of a philosophical question for you. Okay, some good news. We are in a new country. Right back this way, we just crossed the border. Well, wait a second. Remember when I told you we had a philosophical question? Here it is. What constitutes visiting a country? How long do you need to be in the country before you can say, I have visited it, you have visited this country? What do you need to do to add that country to your checklist? So far, I have 57 countries on my list, but when do I add a country to my list? After how many hours have I spent in that country? Can you safely add it to your list? We're gonna get to that. Now remember, I said I'd tell you what country you're in and where we're heading. Well, we're now standing in Slovakia. Yes, we crossed the border back there from Poland into Slovakia. And why are we on this mountain road here from Poland to Slovakia? Well, the main highway is closed, which is elongating our journey. I said we'd be covering 2 countries today. After we finish this mountain pass road here from Poland into Slovakia, we're heading to Hungary. This is country number 58. We're in Slovakia. Yeah, Slovakia! Here in the land of the Carpathian Mountains and Castles, Slovakia, I thought we should answer one of those questions that we had at the start of our journey. How much does gas or fuel cost nowadays? Well, back there, I paid $1.55 for a liter. And you're saying, Gregor, what is €1.55 per liter? That comes out to $6.34 a gallon. And something to consider when you're running a car like this on an adventure like this is how much is it gonna cost you? Well, for this, I put in just under 3/4 of a tank. I never let it go below 1/4 of a tank. That's my rule. So you don't want to be stranded out on the side of the road out here in the countryside if you find yourself without gas. So for just under 3/4 of a tank, I paid €60. Well, besides the sun trying to come out, we passed all of Slovakia. We just arrived here. This is Hungarian ground. We are in country number 59, Hungary. Woohoo! Budapest, it's just about still 3 hours to go. Dang, this is a long drive. But when we get there, we're gonna find these ruined pubs that I've been talking about, and we're gonna discover them together, so stick with me, let's go. a 7-hour long journey to get here. Okay, remember, we have this Rune pub to find. I've been hearing all sorts of things about it. I asked the Airbnb host and he's giving me some details on where we can find it. Right over here. Just a tip, don't eat at this place. I've made so many wrong turns today. At some point, we gotta make the right turn. You see, room bars, well, they're bars or pubs that were created in these abandoned lots, buildings, and stores in a neighborhood that was left in ruins after World War II. They started popping up in the 2000s, and this is the OG, opened in 2002. Simple Kurt. What a vibe, right? We made it. Some are indoors, some are outdoors in a courtyard, some are underground, some are a mix of everything, like this one here. All have a bar inside. Some of them have multiple bars inside, and that's the case with this one. These places, how cool. And they all have sort of a hippie, funky vibe to them. And you'll see still some Jewish people walking around with their hats on in this area because this is, after all, the Jewish quarter. But it's a proper place to unwind in Budapest and get, well, hold on. Can I get a big Hungarian beer? Yeah. This country's capital is full of gems like this waiting to be discovered. Tomorrow, we'll discover a new country and a new city. And we'll talk about what you need to know if you're traveling alone. But for now, cheers, Budapest. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I thought this would be the best way to see Budapest. We're 8 kilometers in, got another 5 to go. Well, we've left Hungary behind. We left Budapest behind, unfortunately. I love that city. And we're now in Slovakia. Yes, back in Slovakia. And remember, I said I would talk about the philosophical question about what it means to visit a country. Also, I want to explain to you, why am I even doing this trip? But first, as I mentioned earlier, I want to talk about the things you need to know if you're a solo traveler, what you need to be careful about, and then I'll get to where we're going, our destination down the road. You need to do your research, just like if you're traveling as a couple or in a group. Well, if you're solo, you want to research your destination before you travel. Also consider how you're going to meet up with people, socializing. If you're going to meet with people, say via Tinder or Meetup app, well, meet in a public place. Consider who you're meeting and if it's safe to meet them. Finally, health insurance. You need to be covered when you're traveling around the world as a solo traveler. And I use Safety Wing Nomad insurance. You can use any insurance you want, but check out Safety Wing. There's a link to it down below. I don't want to put you off about solo traveling because I think you should do it. I do it all the time and I enjoy it, perhaps even more so than traveling with a partner, because it allows you to be much more flexible with your time. You don't have to consider someone else's. You can wake up and decide one morning as you're drinking your coffee, hey, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go to Budapest over there, I'm gonna travel to Cuba. There's the personal growth aspect as well. As a solo traveler, you're forced into situations where you might not force yourself into if you were traveling with a partner or in a group, and you find out that you can solve those situations. Now the negatives, you get lonely at times. I get lonely at times too, but kind of the sad reality is when you're having a dinner somewhere, even with your partner or in a group, you're on your phone half the time. And so when I'm off having dinner somewhere, either I'm talking to the waiter or waitress, or I'm just catching up on some emails that I wasn't able to check during the day when I was out and about at all the sites. It can cost you more as a solo traveler, especially with taxi rides, with accommodations, and sometimes if you're booking tours, if you're booking on your own as a solo traveler, the prices can be higher. Remember I said we talk about the philosophical question of what constitutes visiting a country. How much time do you need to spend in that country before you can say, I've been to that country? And no, before you're thinking about it, Having a layover at an airport in a foreign country doesn't count as an actual visit. So here's my philosophy on what constitutes visiting a country. When we drove through Slovakia yesterday on the way down from Poland to get to Hungary, I didn't really consider that a visit. Although to be fair, we had coffee, we had snacks, and we spent quite a few hours in Slovakia. I think it was around about 5.5 hours we spent mostly driving, albeit. That's why I'm happy to be coming back into Slovakia today, to really be honest with myself, to say, yeah, I can add Slovakia to my country list. What do you think? What's your thinking on when is a country visit? And also your thoughts on traveling solo. Let me know down in the comments. We have just arrived in Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. Right over here is the building for my apartment, and then you and I need to find this hidden passage underneath Bratislav's castle. And I'll explain why the heck am I making this 4-day journey at all. This old town of Bratislava is great. About 500,000 people call this city home, and it's on the Danube River as well, like Budapest. And you'll see a lot of British folks making their way over here for stag parties. Correction, those people don't seem like Brits. Excuse me if I offended any Brits. Like every day, I'm running a bit late. I can see it up there on the horizon. It's gonna be a bit of a hike. We've made it. I see the 4 main towers up there that mark this castle and its major significance within Slovak history and culture. I saw a sign down there. It says it's open till 10 o'clock, so I think we're good on getting in. There's some bad news. The grounds itself, well, they're open to you and I until 10 p.m. The castle, it's only open till 6 p.m. and the office door was just closed there. I tried it. The last entry is at 5:30 p.m. so take note. The negative is that we don't know where this hidden passageway is. I'm sorry to you, but we made it this far. At least the positive is, and you always should put a positive spin on these things, we got a killer view walking up here. Also some exercise, 23,000 steps today. I'm sorry, the weather was beautiful this morning in Budapest. I went on a longer run and I had an extra coffee there. I probably should have left earlier in order to get here in time to show you the castle grounds properly inside as well as what we've seen already outside.
You speak English?
Yes.
Is the castle
Is
the castle
yes,
open today?
No, because there is
Inauguration of new president.
new president today, so today is closed.
I've tried. I really tried. This is a reminder, not everything goes to plan when you travel. We weren't able to get the hidden passageway underneath the castle, but I think I have an alternative for you. This is it. We're in the center of Bratislava, on top of that famous tower that you'll see when you're walking around above Michael's Gate. And climbing up here, what it gives us is a view of the castle we've been trying to get to all day. I mean, embrace what you have and discover that often the unexpected can be the best surprise. We've crossed back into Austria, and the journey with that, we've gone through 4 different countries, leaving Vienna, Austria, going through the Czech Republic, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, back here in Austria. So yeah, in our list of questions, the why the heck am I doing this? It's a personal goal to add new countries to my list. The Czech Republic, Poland, we're in Slovakia, Hungary. We've uncovered some of Europe's best kept